A good evening from Word of God Academy in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's the house John Wall built, and it's the site of this 2017 ECBL Game of the Week opener between the North Carolina Coyotes, coming in at 2-0, opening their home portion of the schedule against the Petersburg Cavaliers, coming in at 1-1. Hi, everybody. Chris Sheeman. Glad, as always, to be with you here for this contest. They're getting right to it, so they're going to start. We will run down the starting lineups for you for both of these teams. We'll start with Kyle Dixon's Petersburg Cavaliers, coming in 1-1 on the year, as I mentioned. They're starting number 6, John Holloman, 6'9", 225-pound forward. Also starting is number 11, Earl G., the second, 5'10", 159. Number 12, Robert Pinkston, 6'2", 195. Number 20, Darnell Jenkins, 6'7", 205, and number 23, Lorenzo Bailey. He is 6'2", and 210. For the Coyotes, Eric Clemens starting. Number 5, Marquise Bunn, 5'9", 175 from Durham, North Carolina, as we're underway. Number 10, Will Griffin, 5'8", 170 from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Number 35, Corey Evans. He's 6'2", 185 from Durham, North Carolina. Number 40, Revon Terrell, a 6'6", 245-pound forward from Raleigh, North Carolina. And number 50, Raymond McKeithen, the big pickup for the Coyotes, who has the basketball right here. He's 6'7", 245 from Lumberton, as he misses his first shot. And the offensive rebound lost by Terrell, out of bounds. So, empty possessions for both teams as we settle into this home opener. Hey, glad that you folks could be with us. I know it's March Madness. We got a whole lot of basketball this week and weekend. This is wrapping up week 3 in the ECBL, our first of 11 broadcasts, as Petersburg's Jenkins gets them on the board. That's Darnell Jenkins connecting for the first two. Driving strong to the bucket is Griffin in transition. So both of these teams coming off victories. It was 95-92 for Petersburg against Hampton Roads last Saturday. Robert Pinkston, 29 points. Here's a steal for Bunn. His layup no good, but the tip back up and in by Griffin is good, and it's 4-2 here in the early going, about 90 seconds or so in. Meanwhile, the Coyotes coming off a 140-130 win against Hampton Roads and a 131-102 win against the Carolina Kings. That's a new team to the league. Both of these teams, if you're familiar with the ECBL, as Pinkston misses his first jumper, 3-on-3, and that's going to be poked out of bounds, last touch by the Coyotes. Both of these teams were in the league last year as different names. It was the Raleigh-Durham United Raptors, who are now the North Carolina Coyotes, and the Petersburg Revolution, who are now the Cavaliers under I wouldn't say different ownership for the Cavaliers, but they just wanted a rebranding after last year. And the Coyotes are the team that Robert Espinoza, who we'll see off the bench, originally ran in the ABA for a season or two before coming to the ECBL. So just kind of a more familiar name in the area, thus the name change. In transition for the Coyotes, it's Griffin. Step back three, can't get it to go. I mentioned we're at the house John Wall built, Word of God Academy in Raleigh, North Carolina. A basketball mecca for the last, decade and a half, maybe even 2 decades. We'll talk more about that as the day goes on. Terrell missing in the lane. Here comes Petersburg. Pinkston. This is Bailey for 3. Can't get it to go. Cold start for both teams. Underneath, Bailey gets it to Jenkins for 2, and we're tied at 4. You're going to see a new look from the Cavaliers, although they do welcome back 9 new players to this team. Also 7 new additions. They've gotten a little bit smaller. Driving to the bucket there is Griffin, and he'll go to the line on the first foul of the ball game. That, I believe, is on Earl G., one of the returners I mentioned. Averaged almost 9 points per ball game, just under 3 assists last year, from Longwood University. At the free throw stripe now, it's Will Griffin. Griffin last year, 10 points, about 5 rebounds, shot 40%. He's a product of Greensboro College. Played there for a couple of years, 2013 to 2015, as they rim that in. 48 games, 10 points, just over 2 assists per ball game. A good point guard for the Coyotes. So Griffin connecting on the first one. He had 38 in the lone game that we have stats for the Coyotes. 6-4 now. That was the game at Hampton Roads, a 140 to 130 victory. Here's Bailey on the far side for the Cavs. Out near midcourt, Pinkston. Boy, what a start to the season for Robert Pinkston. Driving in his G. Good ball movement. This is a product. This is what Kyle Dixon, the head coach of Petersburg, wants to see, unselfish play. That's going to be a shot clock violation on the Cavaliers. So good defense by the Coyotes here. Folks, if you're a Coyotes fan, if you're a Cavaliers fan, you're watching today's game on YouTube, you can use the YouTube chat. Give me a shout. Let me know where you're watching from, who you're rooting for. You could be my color commentator, too. Give me your thoughts on today's game if you feel like doing that. Krishima, glad to be with you here in Raleigh. Bunn skies it off the glass. It's a good start for the Coyotes as they're doubling up Petersburg 8-4. Just about 4 minutes in. Start of a 3-game homestand for the Coyotes, who opened with 2 on the road. Open look, Pinkston in and out, and couldn't get the friendly bounce. These are some old rims, so they're not going to bounce the way the newer ones do. You can hear it clink a little bit more. Griffin driving is Evans. Evans stepped out of bounds. So the ball will go back to Petersburg. Petersburg trying to find some rhythm on offense here in the early going. Just 4 points so far for the Revolution, who want to push the tempo. Oh, nice block, Raymond McKeithen. Going up for that shot was Jenkins. Raymond McKeithen, a big pickup as Fayetteville went under. So there is no more Fayetteville team. Raymond McKeithen picked up by the Coyotes. Center of the year last year in the ECBL, a huge pickup for North Carolina. That 3-ball no good off the shot from Pinkston. So Robert Pinkston came in over 20 points in the first 2 games, I should say. As Evans can't get it to go. Pinkston yet to get on the board, but don't worry, he won't be quiet for long. John Holloman, turnaround jumper no good, and it looks like we got an injury. Evans got poked in the eye. So Evans will go out. Montez Downey coming into the ball game from UNC Wilmington. Played all 4 years at UNC Wilmington. They should have beat Virginia. They should have beat Virginia this year. UNC Wilmington losing their coach now to NC State too. Montez Downey, so he's into the game for the Coyotes. McKeithen blocked from behind, and they say that Jenkins got a piece of him. Hi, the Sean is watching. I remember that name, a former player for the then Revolution, now Cavaliers. Petersburg always brings a big audience to these Game of the Week broadcasts, so I love doing the Petersburg games. Raymond McKeithen, money on the first free throw. First sub for Kyle Dixon, bringing in Reggie Cherry, 13.7 points per ball game, nearly 5 rebounds last year, as McKeithen tries to get 2 out of 2 from the charity stripe. 1 out of 2 instead. Ball tapped around. That's going to go out of bounds, and it's last touched, they say, by the Coyotes. Montez Downey, I mentioned, went to UNC Wilmington, over 6 points per ball game, shot 35% in his 4-year playing career for the Seahawks. Driving Cherry, and they say it's off him out of bounds. So it's a kind of a sloppy start to this one. Looks like we have a clock issue, so a little false start here. We'll inbound it again. Inbounding, Will Griffin. In the corner, that's Downey. Near side, Bunn. Marquise Bunn from Shaw University, his inbound. Entry pass is deflected and taken away. Good defense by the Cavs. Now a three from G, no good. Holloman tied up, and a jump ball called as Downey tied him up. It's not college rules. They play basically NBA rules here in the ECBL, so they're going to jump it up like you normally would in a pro game. There are a few minor differences. Obviously, most teams play at high school gyms, so the three-point line is not the same as the NBA. I don't know if there's a restricted area or not, to be honest with you. There's never any circle, so I think it's up to the discretion of the officials as Petersburg wins the tip. Pinkston step back, still can't get it to go, and the Cavs are stuck on 4, nearing the midway point of quarter number 1. Bunn for 3. Can't get it to go. Tip back up, no. Skying for it, Downey. Swings it back out to Bunn. Bunn steps back. McKeithen from way downtown. In and out, and these rims are not budging, folks. Looks like we're going to get a timeout, so we will step aside. 9-4 in favor of the Coyotes. This is the East Coast Basketball League Game of the Week from Raleigh. We'll be back. Well, if you missed the action from yesterday, there's what's going on here in this third week in the ECBL. Savannah taking down Florence, and Carolina, the Crusaders, over Augusta. Charlotte 145, Carolina Kings 138 yesterday. A high-scoring game, a very low-scoring game here in Raleigh, 9-4. As we have a whole bunch of new players in for the Coyotes. Trey Day is on from San Antonio, Texas. He's number 4. Also checking in, Quentin Marshall, number 25. Number 21, Eladio Espinoza, who averaged over 18 a game last year. Robert Espinoza, the team's owner, also out there with Montez Downey. Shot clock was running down. 4th shot. Here's Espinoza. That's Robert for 3, in and out. And we're going to get an over-the-back call as the Cavs had position for Petersburg out on the court. Robert Pinkston, John Holloman, also Earl G. the second in the backcourt. Tommy Starks coming on as well, and Reggie Cherry. So that's the 5 for both teams out on the court right now. And so the forecourt is Pinkston. Left side G. Starks driving in. Over in the corner, Pinkston. To the cutter, Holloman. Out to Cherry for 3. Can't get it to go. Boy, these two teams just can't buy a bucket right now. That ball was tipped out of bounds, last touch by Robert Espinoza. Got to give a shout out to Robert. It takes a village to put these games together, these broadcasts together, and Robert was that village for me this week. Helping me coordinate, helping me find our camera guy. So big shout out to Robert Espinoza. Does great work up here in Raleigh. The owner and role player, as that's a 2-point shot for Cherry. The first field goal in about 5 minutes for Petersburg cuts the deficit to 3. Out answering quickly, Eladio Espinoza. Eladio, as I mentioned, over 18 points per ball game last year. He bounced around a little bit D1 ball. He ended up in Livingstone College, but also played at South Florida, at Marshall, and at Charleston. All good D1 schools. Turnover 3-on-1 now. Driving Starks, yes, and the foul. Team's starting to find their rhythm here and some flow to the game. So Tommy Starks from the Bronx will try to complete the old school three-point play. He's 2 for 4 from the free throw stripe. It's Chicago and it's New York when it comes to basketball development. So it's 11-10 now, the correct score on your screen in favor of the Coyotes. That ball poked away. Another turnover, good defense again. Pinkston rejected. Driving is Cherry, can't get it to go, but he's fouled. Right at 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter. So Tommy Starks, who went to Queens College in 2014, his last year, averaged just under 6 points per ball game. Now it's Reggie Cherry, 2 out of 4 on the young season from the free throw stripe. Connects on the first, even Steven at 11. They've got some height deficiencies, the Cavaliers. They've lost some size from last year's team. But they have newcomers like Robert Pinkston, guys who can play multiple positions, who can play the 2, the 3, or even the 4, and that's what Petersburg is going to need. You've seen it, good team defense there. One-on-one. It's going to be tough against the Raymond McKeithans at 6'7", Raheem Ashodi, who we'll see off the bench at 6'10", but there's a blueprint for how it's done if you're dealing with size deficiencies, and it's called the zone. You play the zone, you trap, you press. That gives you a chance to be competitive. Cavaliers bringing on Mike Jones for the first time this season. He's number 8 with the ball in the corner. Open look, Pinkston got it to go. So he's off the snide, and Petersburg quietly taking a 3-point advantage here. 14-11. Day throws it into the backcourt. Marshall will come and get it. That's Quentin Marshall from right here in Raleigh. Quentin Marshall, a good player at the Citadel. In fact, he graduated last year, 2012 to 2016, 117 games. Averaged 7 points in his 4 years, shot 44%. As you see him go to the bench now. He averaged over 11 points at the Citadel as a senior. So he's a good pickup as well for the Coyotes, who have lost a few guys. My brother from another mother, Chris Leitner, no longer with the team. But they've picked up a 2-time All-Star in McKeithen and a good all-around player in Quentin Marshall off the bench. Out on the run, extra pass, a little bit off the mark, and that will go out of bounds. Might have been a better idea for Marshall, or excuse me, for Evans to just take that himself. Petersburg by 3. Both teams looking for some offensive consistency. Starks for 3. Yes. And it's Petersburg by 6. So they couldn't buy a bucket for most of this ball game, and then all of a sudden they have caught fire, playing good on defense. One of the reasons. Espinosa, Eladio, yes, and the foul. So Eladio Espinosa will go to the line to try to complete the old school 3-point play. Reggie Cherry back out there for the Cavs. Last year, the Coyotes averaged 115 points. They went 3-1 at home. Espinoza misses it off the back of the rim. Rebound controlled by Rashid Hines, who's come on for the first time as well. Petersburg rising from the baseline was Cherry, couldn't get it to go. Out on the run, this is Day, the reverse. Can't get it. Tip for the rebound. It comes to Day. Evans, dipsy-do shot, no good. And coming out with the offensive rebound, Robert Espinoza being hounded. Got it to Evans. Evans for three, no. Another offensive rebound, and Eladio Espinoza is called for steps. It looks like the Coyotes want to talk about it. Eric Clemens calls for time. We will step aside with 1:43 left to go in the opening quarter. 17-13 in favor of Petersburg. Welcome back to Raleigh Word of God Academy, folks. So many famous basketball alumni from this high school. John Wall, I mentioned. There's several D1 players at Miami, at Arizona, at all kinds of different schools playing right now. Rising up from the elbow, Tommy Starks connects, and Petersburg leads by 6. Espinoza into the forecourt. Quentin Marshall, correction, that's Corey Evans out on the court, and he's bumped by Petersburg. So 4 team fouls, I believe they just said, on the Cavaliers. Here's Day over on the far side. Eladio Espinoza, I believe he's going to be called for an offensive foul here. So inside 1 minute to go in the opening quarter, very low scoring by ECBL standards. Coyotes turning it over are the Cavaliers. Day with the steal, and they turn it right back. Here's Desmore. Desmore blocked, and it's taken away. Day hounding defense by the Cavaliers, and that's going to be a unfortunate foul for Starks. So 32 seconds, and I believe both teams are over the limit now. So it will be Coyotes basketball. Kyle Dixon looking for an explanation. Was it a foul or a shot clock violation, I believe? It was a foul, though. I think this is one of those rare times where you see the coach actually begging for a shot clock violation for his team because he'd rather have that than the foul called, as Petersburg is over the limit. Montez Downey goes to the line. 6 points per ball game in 99 games at UNC Wilmington, and rims in the first free throw. So the Coyotes came in averaging 135.5 points per ball game, 140 in one game, 131 in another. They're stuck on 14 right now. And they'll stay on 14. Opportunity if they go quickly for a 2-for-1 here. Petersburg in the forecourt quickly. They will not get the 2-for-1. Instead, we'll look for a good shot here. Hines driving in, and he walked. So Rashid Hines turning the basketball over. And the Coyotes, if they want to, can hold for the final shot here. Evans into the forecourt. Evans to the bucket. Can't get it to go. Wow, how did Downey get that rebound? 3 ball is no good, and that's going to go off again. Downey, who is hustling out there. 2.3 seconds left to go in the opening quarter, and we will have another timeout. We'll keep it here with 2 seconds left, and kind of talked about it a little bit at the beginning. Word of God Academy. This little gym, it's hard to believe that John Wall once played here. But he did. Now the All-Star just about every year with the Washington Wizards. Some other players, C.J. Leslie, an NC State player. Aaron Fleetwood, who plays overseas in Germany. Desmond Wells from Maryland. Tremaine Williams. Raul Atkins, or Alkins, excuse me, from the Arizona Wildcats. Bishop Daniels from Miami. So that's just a few of the names. Tremaine Williams, by the way, not a basketball player. He's a Grammy award-winning producer. So Petersburg, Kyle Dixon called timeout, assuming he's going to set something up here, a full court pass or something like that. You can advance the ball at the end of the game in the fourth quarter. You can't do that any other time, though. So they will have to go full court. Desmore will inbound it. Here's Starks. Starks did not get it off in time. And the end of the first half score is 19-14, a defensive battle here in Raleigh. East Coast Basketball League Game of the Week. We'll be back with quarter number 2 after this. Chris Sheeman, glad to be back with you in Raleigh as we get a look at the Howling Honeys, the cheerleaders for the Coyotes, the Howling Honeys. We will broadcast their halftime performance as well. They're facing the other way, so depending on your preference, you're going to get the good side or the bad side. Chris Sheeman, glad to be back with you on to quarter number 2. We go Petersburg 19 and the Coyotes 14. Neither team finding much on the offensive side of things here in the opening frame. Let's see what happens here in quarter number 2. Over on the far side, it will be Coyotes basketball to start things off here in this second quarter. So Evans will inbound it. And it looks like we're going to get a full court press here, but we're not quite ready to get started. Cavaliers made another sub, Jacob Easel, appearing in his second game this season. So he's out on the court with Hines. Also, Tyree Desmore and Mike Jones. And I believe it's Terrence Granger. No, correction, that's John Holloman. So that's the 5 to start off quarter number 2 for the Cavaliers. Marquise Bunn, also Will Griffin and Raymond McKeithen, Rayvon Terrell, and Corey Evans. That's the 5, the usual starters, normal starters for the Coyotes, starting off quarter number 2 as we're underway here. Evans into the forecourt, got tied up, looking for a cutter. Pass off the mark for Bunn. Bunn comes up with it and threw it away to Hines. Hines looking to push now. Goes behind the back, and his pocket is picked by Evans. Hang on now. Evans called for a foul, and now a technical foul. Correction, the foul was on Hines. So Hines picked up the foul for Petersburg, and then for some reason, Corey Evans picked up a tee. So Jacob Easel will go to shoot the technical free throw. This has been an ugly game, folks. It's been a lot of turnovers. Players trying to do too much out on the court right now as the technical free throw is missed. So it will be Coyotes basketball. This isn't about as awkward of a start to a second quarter as you can have here. Petersburg, this is what they want to do, though. They want to press. They want to force you into sloppy play. Into the forecourt now is Griffin. Griffin guarded by Desmore, the man-to-man. Floats it up off the back of the rim. No. Rebound by John Holloman. There's Desmore into the forecourt. Top of the key, Holloman for 3. Yes. Oh, that was the best looking shot of the night so far. And Petersburg's opened up an 8-point lead now. On the far side, it's Bunn. They've got to find a way to get McKeithen going on this starting line. Terrell turnaround shot way off, got it back. And the putback no good. The ball went behind the backboard, and they say it was last touched by the Cavaliers. So we will stay on this end of the court. McKeithen driving, McKeithen tied up, and it's a jump ball. So McKeithen at 6'7" is going to jump against Easel at 6 foot. I was trying to root for the short folks, but this one's going to be tough for him. Kyle Dixon, who has not stopped talking since the opening tip, is looking for an explanation about a foul call from who knows when. Welcome to semi-pro basketball, folks. The officials are trying to keep the teams separated a little bit. There's not much talking that anybody needs to worry about. So they're going to reset the shot clock to 4. What I would love is give me 3 minutes of uninterrupted back and forth basketball, and I'll be happy, because I haven't got it yet tonight. So here we go. McKeithen, no surprise there. They got to get a shot off. Griffin realizes it, draws iron, but it's short, and Hines comes up with the rebound. Hines thought about the step back. Instead, over to Desmore. Desmore from the elbow. Got it with the hand in his face. So Petersburg's starting to heat up. Coyotes got to get it going on offense as well. They have not hit a field goal in several minutes. Bunn, the step back. Nope. How about this defense so far for the Cavaliers? Everything contested. Jones the rebound. Desmore bounced past the Holloman. Desmore, open look for Easel for three. No good. And the rebound controlled by Griffin. Griffin on the left to Bunn. Bunn gets a screen. And again, a stoppage as the shot clock did not start. Well, this is my third year in the ECBL, and this is pretty much a constant wherever we go. Constant clock issues. So 9:53 left to go in the opening quarter. Petersburg's opened up a 10-point advantage. By the way, again, folks, you can use the YouTube chat if you want to give us a shout. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're rooting for, your thoughts on the game. Going to get another sub for the Cavaliers. Jasper Holloman coming into the game. So Holloman on for the first time. In for Rashid Hines. McKeithen with the basketball. Trying to get something going for his team. Off the back of the rim, no good. Tip for the rebound. It's saved to Holloman. Holloman driving in to the bucket, short. And a late whistle will send him to the line. Jasper Holloman. 1 game, 4 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals. He's so far on the young season a perfect 2 out of 2 from the free throw stripe. First free throw is in. And the second. So the Cavaliers, Kyle Dixon has his team playing well, and the Coyotes are out of sorts here. They're going to call a kickball. And you can see the Cavaliers bench is fired. I told you, Kyle Dixon has not stopped talking since the opening tip. He's got his team fired up. They're thinking championship up there in Petersburg. They were not happy the way last year ended. They lost a close game to Fayetteville to get a crack at the primetime players, who are the two-time champs in the league. So they're going to reset the shot clock to 17. It'll remain Coyotes basketball, and the body language for the Coyotes right now is just not good. They go through stages like this. I saw them a couple of times last year where they let the others in the game affect them. The officials, whatever. Another turnover as the press is working. Good defense that time by North Carolina as McKeithen is shaken up, and he is hurt as he hit the floor hard. So Raymond McKeithen fouled hard, and he is still down. And this would be trouble. Coyotes picking up this all-star after Fayetteville went under. And they will attend to him, so we will step aside. 9:24 left to go in the opening half. Petersburg by 12. The bigger concern right now for the Coyotes is McKeithen. We'll be right back. Well, another technical foul has been called. Raymond McKeithen picking it up. He was upset after getting hit and said something to the official, picked up a tee. So for Petersburg, Tyree Desmore will shoot the technical free throw. The Coyotes have completely lost focus in this basketball game, and Petersburg now leading by 13. So McKeithen will go to the line, I believe, as well on the other end. Now they're saying McKeithen has to go to the bench. So McKeithen leaves with an injury, I believe. He will sit for a little while at least. Now, because of that, Kyle Dixon can pick who shoots the free throws, and it'll be Rayvon Terrell. And connects on the first. That's the first point of the quarter for the Coyotes, and the first point in a long time. So 1 out of 2 from the free throw stripe. Here comes the Cavaliers having all the momentum. Desmore, a quick three, can't get it to go. And Jones able to keep possession alive. Holloman driving in. Oh, backdoor. Jones cutting on the baseline. First effort, no, but second effort is money. Here's Evans into the forecourt, steps into a three, can't get it to go. And the rebound controlled by John Holloman, who turns it over. Bunn. Eladio Espinoza driving to the bucket, can't get it to go. Put back, no, but he's fouled and will go to the line. So Eladio Espinoza, as I mentioned, bounced around D1 ball a little bit, gets the friendly roll on the first free throw. Almost 8 points per ball game in 2012-2013 with Livingstone College. Also played at South Florida, Charleston, Marshall, and did not draw iron on that free throw. So the lead is 13 for Petersburg, looking to go to 2-on-1. This is a more important game for Petersburg than the Coyotes, although a three now by Easel is good. And Petersburg is doubling up the Coyotes, 32-16. Cavaliers don't want to go to 1-2 on the season and have North Carolina go to 2-1. Full court pass, a bad one for the Cavs as Bunn comes up with the steal. Driving in Evans. Here's the three by Terrell, no good. Jasper Holloman with the rebound. Outlets to John Holloman, and he gets the bucket to go. The lead is 18. Coyotes so far a couple of free throws in this quarter. That's been it. Bunn. Here's the three by Evans. Yes! And you see the Coyotes look a little more regrouped after that technical foul by McKeithen. They're a little more focused. Will it lead to better offense? We'll see as Desmore gets it to go in the lane. Griffin. Eladio Espinoza. Back out to Griffin. Triggers a triple. Draws iron, but that's it. The rebound to Easel. Here's Jones. Jasper Holloman leaves it for Desmore. Here's a three again. Easel in and out that time, and the rebound by Eladio Espinoza. It's turned over. Desmore, count it, and the foul. We got some folks in New York watching the game, rooting for the Coyotes. Again, folks, feel free to use the YouTube chat if you want to give us a shout. We're going to get some substitutions for Petersburg coming in. Darnell Jenkins. Also, Earl G. Petersburg's got a pretty deep bench, so they will rotate a lot of guys in and out. Second free throw is good, or the old school three-point play, I should say, complete. Petersburg's lead grows to 20. Griffin into the forecourt. The Cavaliers have hounded the Coyotes all night so far. Here's Bunn. Step back three by Bunn, no good. Skying for it, the little guy, Griffin with the rebound. Over in the corner, baseline jumper, Terrell can't get it to go. Rebound controlled by Petersburg. It was Jenkins. Out on the run, Holloman turns it over. Good defense by the Coyotes. 2-on-1. Extra pass, Espinoza to Terrell. Back quickly, Petersburg. Holloman. G, top of the key, Holloman, no good. And John Holloman able to get it to go. Eric Clemens wants to talk about it. 6:21 to go in the second quarter. Petersburg by 20. It's the ECBL Game of the Week. We'll be back. Eric Clemens is giving it to his team in that timeout, telling them to focus up. Well, it's we heard from some folks from New York. Apparently, it's Eladio and Robert's brother and sister in New York. So hi to those folks. Also hi to Teresa Lopez, who's watching. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you here at Word of God in Raleigh. Off of the timeout, missed three by Evans. In transition, the putback is good by Jenkins. And the lead grows to 22 for Petersburg. Griffin, nice move to the bucket. Couldn't get the roll. And I believe after the shot, it's going to be a foul on John Holloman. So let's see if Eric Clemens' speech, which I heard through my headset during that timeout, works. He was not happy with his team's effort. I'm not happy with his team's effort. They really lost focus at the beginning of this second quarter. Couple of tees towards the end of the first quarter, start of the second. But there's plenty of time, folks. And these Coyotes are too good to only have 22 points midway through the second quarter. So they will get it going. They will regroup. More confusion here in Raleigh, and apparently a timeout has been called. So, again, we'll step aside. One more free throw to come for Eladio Espinoza out of the timeout. Krishima, glad to be back with you here in Raleigh. 43-22, good start for the Cavs so far, leading by 21. Espinoza good on the second free throw. Coyotes trying now to force some stops, get some turnovers, try to work themselves back in it. They got 5:52. Realistically, if you could get it around 15 or 10, down from 20, going to the locker room with some of the momentum back, that's going to be an over the back off the miss. Espinoza was fouled. Is Petersburg over the limit? So they are. So that will help the Coyotes, who haven't had too much going on the offensive side of things, getting to the free throw line, trying to find some easy buckets. Well, that will certainly help them get it going, too, as Espinoza goes back to the line. Free throw goes in and out. Eladio, 18 points per ball game, 7 rebounds last season for the Coyotes, then the Raptors. And the second one, friendly home rim. Coyotes cut it now to 19. 5:38 left to go here in this opening half. Holloman driving into the lane, can't get it to go. Tip back, no. Espinoza has the rebound. A lot of contact there in transition. Here's a three by Evans. Can't get it to go. Coyotes remaining cold from behind the arc here tonight. Pinkston's back out on the court. Jenkins underneath. Floater no good. Tip for the rebound. Espinoza has it. Here's Bunn. Eladio Espinoza on the elbow. Driving right at the lane. Around the defense, no. But he's fouled. So more free throws to come for Eladio, who's made a living there in the past couple of minutes. Eladio and Robert Espinoza, the owner of the team. Brothers from Plainfield, New Jersey. We got his family watching on YouTube. They're chatting with the rest of you on there. Robert Espinoza also on teams in the ABA, the CBL. He's played professionally in other countries. Eladio as well. So a couple of stops, more free throws. All of a sudden it's 17, and again, that from 22 to 17 in just a couple of minutes for the Coyotes, a good sign for them as they have refocused. Pinkston, Starks, good defense by Bunn, just couldn't pick up a handle on it, and then he's called for the bump on Cherry. Coyotes not over the limit yet, so a fresh 24 for the Cavaliers. Driving on the baseline. Floater too strong by Starks. Good to see Raymond McKeithen back out there. He took a big hit early on in this quarter. He's back out there calling for the basketball. There's McKeithen against Cherry. McKeithen with the post up. That's what he did so well for 2 years with Fayetteville here in the ECBL. Mentioned it in the first quarter. Just a great pickup for the Coyotes. Make them even stronger this year. Coyotes last year went 8-4. And they get a turnover here, a steal and a timeout. 3:54 left to go in the opening half. Timeout will step aside and come on back in just a few moments. The champions are up next. There it is, our next game of the week. We're going to Bank Street Gym for the Primetime Players and Florence Wildcats. A little snarky little joke at the expense of Chris Thomas, who I know is watching. So the back-to-back champs against the expansion Florence Wildcats next week at 5. Corjay Cox chatting it with us on YouTube. Corjay, we look forward to seeing you later on this season, maybe. I don't know. You playing pro ball overseas, Corjay? Hopefully you're doing well. McKeithen out of the timeout. Back-to-back buckets for the two-time All-Star, and the lead is 13. So how do you respond now if you're the Cavaliers? You've been given all the punches. All of a sudden, you're getting punched back now. Cherry at the top of the key. Step back over Robert Espinoza. Good defense again by the Coyotes, who look like a different team than the team that was on the court just 5 minutes ago. So Robert Espinoza back out there. Downey, the workhorse, out there as well, and Bunn is fouled. Corjay's in France at the moment. Congratulations to Corjay on that. A lot of players from the ECBL have played overseas. It's a goal for some players. It's not a goal for all players. Primetime, who we'll see next week, has a lot of players who have played overseas. They're more focused now on their units. They've sent Sean Barnett and some other players overseas. The Coyotes, Corjay playing overseas. They've had a few other players. So the lead down to 12. It's been as high as 22. That shot was altered. Again, Downey driving to the bucket. Griffin, his pocket was picked. Great defense by G. Pinkston now. So both teams have refocused their energies defensively. Strong move to the bucket by Starks. And we're going to get a foul called on Bunn for the Coyotes. That might put them over the limit. Not 100% sure. Petersburg's inbounding, so they're not in the bonus yet. Petersburg, can they get Robert Pinkston going? Just one bucket so far for him in the opening half. He will inbound it here. Pinkston played at Bluefield College in NAIA for 2 years, just over 4 points, so I guess it is the 5th foul now. They figured that out, so it will be Cherry at the line to shoot 2 free throws. Reggie Cherry good on the first one. Scoring down a little bit the first couple of games for Cherry, just 9 points so far in 2 games, but he'll get it going. He averaged almost 14 a game for the Cavs last year. It's been the Robert Pinkston show. How about that? Nobody boxes out. Pinkston cleans up. And Petersburg starting to get active again. So that press from Petersburg, this time Robert Espinoza into the forecourt, almost threw it away. These Cavaliers are everywhere when they're engaged. You don't want to leave that man open, though. Big money for 3. And the lead is 12 again. Well, it was an ugly beginning, folks, but I believe we have a basketball game again. Shot altered, another turnover, and Cherry is mugged. So Reggie Cherry will go to the line. So if you're just joining us now, you picked a good time to come in, as the play has really picked up in the latter part of this second quarter. So Reggie Cherry back at the line. Swishes through the first one. First of 3 straight at home for the Coyotes. They take on the Thunder next Saturday in Winston-Salem on the 8th. Both of those 7 p.m. tip times as well. Petersburg goes home next Saturday. They take on the Carolina Kings at 5 and then host Carolina at 5 p.m. on the 8th as well. So to lead just like that, back to 14. Quick point guard Griffin brings it into the forecourt. Griffin, top of the key, had it poked away. Cherry is going to be fouled again, or did they call it on Petersburg? They called it on Petersburg. So that means Will Griffin goes to the line, 70% free throw shooter. From Philadelphia, as I mentioned, played college ball at Greensboro College. A good scoring guard for Greensboro. Last year averaged over 10 points per ball game and about 5 rebounds. Not bad for a guy who's 5'8". Y'all who have met me know that he's only slightly taller than I am, so the little guy doing good work on the boards last year. Inside 2 to play. Floater by Pinkston off the back of the rim. Tipped rebound comes to my man Griffin. Griffin double teamed in the corner. Good ball movement. Extra pass underneath. And Evans uses his body. It's a 10-point ball game. And the momentum now with the Coyotes. Starks gets a couple of screens, drives in, and away from the ball, a foul. I believe it was Downey trying to work through one of those screens, so Starks will go to the line. Swishes through the first one. It's been a physical ball game. That's why we've seen so many free throws. Good defense on both sides. Still Petersburg, the first to 50 here in this first half. Griffin into the forecourt. McKeithen, he could shoot it from anywhere. Raymond McKeithen is on fire, and the lead is down to 9. Robert Pinkston into the forecourt. Here's G. G almost threw it away. Pinkston comes up with it with the hand in his face. Shot no good. And here come the Coyotes. It's Bunn. Yes! The lead is 7. And the Cavaliers are going to talk about it. Timeout on the court. We will step aside. 45 seconds left to go here in the opening half. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Just under 46 seconds left to go in the opening half. Petersburg with the basketball out of the timeout. They have had a big lead, as much as 22 here in this ball game, but the Coyotes have refocused, and they have come alive, making a late first half run to close the gap. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you here in Raleigh. Driving is Desmore, rejected by McKeithen. Still about 14 to shoot, I believe. Driving in, the floater no good by Pinkston. Here comes the Coyotes now. About 2-3 second difference between game and shot clock. McKeithen heat check. Not that time, big fella. Shot clock is off, but Cavaliers going pretty quickly here. We'll see if they pull it back. Desmore will do that. And it looks like we're going to get another timeout. So Kyle Dixon will draw up a play. We will keep it right here. Remind you, stick around at halftime. It's the Howland Honeys, the cheerleaders for the North Carolina Coyotes, doing their thing. We're going to get the backside of them doing their thing. I hope you all are okay with that. So that's coming up next. Stick around. Then we'll take a break. You guys can go check in on March Madness. Do whatever you'd like to. We'll come back, bring you the second half after that. So good into the first half for the Coyotes. I mentioned that if you're just joining us, the Coyotes look like a completely different basketball team here in the later parts of this second quarter. They've quit complaining with the officials, and they've started focusing on basketball again. And now they have an opportunity here with the last shot to cut into this lead even further. The lead was as much as 22 in this first half. Let's see what Petersburg has drawn up now. Desmore will get it out of the timeout. Cherry for three, can't get it to go. And it looks like that's going to do it for the end of the first half. So 50-43, these two teams finding trouble or had trouble getting it going on the offensive end early on. But both teams starting to find their rhythm. Should be an interesting second half. We're going to break away just briefly. Bring you some cheerleaders after that. So stick around. Don't go too far. As promised, ladies and gentlemen, the Howland Honeys, the North Carolina Coyotes cheerleaders here at halftime. All right, folks, there it is, the Howlin' Honeys. We're going to step aside your score at halftime. It's Petersburg, the Cavaliers 50, North Carolina, the Coyotes with 43. We'll go away. We'll be back in about 14 minutes. Welcome back to Word of God in Raleigh, North Carolina. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you. Petersburg 50, North Carolina 43 as we start quarter number 3. Pretty good end of the first half run by the Coyotes. Petersburg led this game at one point 43-21. Since that time, about midway through the second quarter is when the Coyotes started to get their act together. Went on a 22-7 run, extended run to end that second quarter, and we have a ball game. Again, it's early season. This is just week 3, third game for both of these teams, but this one's got a playoff atmosphere to it. Very defensive in the early going, a lot of physicality throughout, and the winner of this game, gets bragging rights. Petersburg in the Northwest Division, but it's really the conference that matters, and both these teams in the Northern Conference looking for that positioning. Petersburg goes to 1-2. That's tough. That's a tough start. So it will be the Coyotes to start things off here in this third quarter. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you here in Raleigh. Settle in, folks. Should be a good final 24 minutes of action here between these two teams. An early season game with playoff implications. How about that shot from Evans? The rim's finally starting to give a little bit. Wonder if John Wall ever had a problem with the rims here. That's a big three-pointer for Petersburg to put them up by 8. So same starters, Corey Evans, Revon Terrell, Raymond McKeithen, Marquise Bunn, and Will Griffin for the Coyotes. As Bunn gets an extra possession underneath the little guy, Griffin for 2. For Petersburg, it looks like they have the same as well. It's John Holloman, Earl G., Robert Pinkston, Darnell Jenkins, and Lorenzo Bailey. So those are the 5 on the court for both of these teams. Second effort for G, gets it to go, and 55-47 is the correct score now on your screen. Raymond McKeithen. He was the catalyst for that run by the Coyotes. It was good defense leading to good offense, but McKeithen hit some redunk threes towards the end of that first half. He's starting to pick it up, the 2-time All-Star, first year with the Coyotes. That shot blocked. Actually, there is a change in the starting lineup. Raheem Ashodi, who we didn't see at all in the first half, gets the start. He picked up that block shot. Ashodi at 6'10", the tallest player on the court. Oh, Holloman disgusted with himself there as he threw it away. The ball will go back to the Coyotes. So Ashodi out on the court. Rayvon Terrell is the one who didn't start the second half. Ashodi last year, 19 points per ball game, shot 49%, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Oh, how about Will Griffin? He's getting it going now. And it's 55-52. Pinkston, yes. Oh, I've been waiting to see this guy get going. Robert Pinkston, 29 points in one victory. He's averaging 26 points per ball game. He's scored over 20 in both of the games so far. The big man McKeithen from Glenville State to the bucket. He's found. So McKeithen's first 2 years with the Fayetteville Crossover. He also played, I believe, in the ECBL with the Crossover as well. 30 points so far this season. Good shooter, good post player, but he can also hit it, as you saw if you were watching in the first half, from downtown too. McKeithen can't get the friendly rim on that first free throw. We've heard from a few folks, Corjay Cox, Chris Thomas, Ronaldo Espinoza, the other Espinoza clan up in New York, Carl. Hi to all those folks. Folks, if you want to be a part of the conversation, just use the YouTube chat. We'd love to hear from you. The lead is down to 5 as McKeithen goes 1 out of 2. You could chat with each other a little bit. Oh, strong move to the bucket. How did he get that shot to go? Lead back to 7 for Petersburg. Going quickly. The scoop shot was no good by Evans, and they get a Shody over the back. Talking to Kyle Dixon before the game, he said, "Who's that big guy?" Points at a Shody. I said, "He's 6'10", coach." And Dixon said, "We better box out then." They did that time. With the hand in his face, Pinkston for 3. Boy, Robert Pinkston, once he gets it going. I mentioned just briefly, he played at Bluefield College for a couple of years, also played JUCO ball. He is a good shooter for this Cavaliers team. McKeithen, a rocket pass in the corner. Griffin for 3, no good. Pinkston collecting the rebound. Past 3 minutes in this third quarter. Desmore taking it to the baseline. The bounce pass to Holloman. Turnaround shots. Can't get it to go. Ashodi with the rebound. Here comes Griffin. Griffin. Oh, nice move by Griffin. Hopefully he's okay. He took a hard fall there. Good sportsmanship there between Jenkins and Griffin. So Griffin kind of took an awkward fall there, but he was fouled on his way to the bucket. They say he was in the act of shooting, apparently, so he's going to get 2 free throws. Kyle Dixon looking for an explanation on that. First free throw is good. Griffin, what he was trying to do on that last possession, a little stop and go. 1 out of 2 at the free throw stripe. Into the forecourt, Pinkston. Pinkston, he was guarded closely. Nice defense by Evans to force the ball out of his hands. Desmore airballs the 3, and that's what the Coyotes wanted to happen on that possession. Evans looking out for Griffin, but an offensive foul is called. Ronaldo's up in Virginia, the Espinoza clan. We got some Cavaliers fans watching, I know, up in Virginia as well. Early sub in this second half. Mike Jones into the ball game for Darnell Jenkins for Kyle Dixon's squad. No Jamar Cooper today. I was looking forward to seeing him play. The Shaw product so far not into the game. I don't know if he traveled. The thing about semi-pro basketball, you got to understand if you're new to this, folks, is sometimes not everybody can travel depending on work schedules. This is for the love of the game here, folks. So, you know, most of these guys. Oh, Raymond McKeithen making it look easy. With a hand, he's been contested threes, almost every single one of them. They left him open one time. He has not been left open since then. Driving is Pinkston, rejected by Ashodi. That should be the cover of the NCCU alumni newsletter right there. That is Ashodi block. Here's G off the glass. Yes, and the foul. So the Coyotes have been keeping things interesting. But Petersburg has maintained the lead. Can't complete the old school three-point play, so here come the Coyotes going quickly as Bunn. Open look for Evans. In and out. Rebound controlled by Holloman. This has been a much better second half so far. It was a little helter-skelter, sloppy, a lot of complaining in the first part of the first half, but we have settled into a fantastic ball game here. Let's hope it continues this way. Oh, yeah. He'll shoot it from there. You have got to get on him, Petersburg, wherever he is. The big man, that is his 5th three-pointer. Desmore drives in. Pinkston gets a screen, open look, in and out for Pinkston. Tipped rebound by Ashodi. Out in transition, frantic Evans able to gather himself, couldn't get the bucket though. Now it's Desmore. Desmore scoops it up and in. Back and forth we go. This Northern Conference showdown. It wouldn't surprise me to see these two teams meeting for a spot in the championship game. Winston-Salem's going to have a lot to say about it, as will other teams, as Jones fires, can't get it. Tip up no good by Pinkston. Griffin is fouled as G was going for a steal. Winston-Salem's had a great start to the year as well. And we're going to get a timeout. 5:35 left to go in the third quarter. 7-point lead, I should say, for Petersburg as we look at some of the other action here in week 3 of the East Coast Basketball League season. (67-60) Petersburg. Chris Sheeman, glad to be back with you. I don't know if Raymond McKeithen has aspirations to play overseas, but if he does and no teams want him, I'm going to tell him pick a country. I'll start my own team in whatever country he wants to go to, and we're going to come kick your all's butts. Raymond McKeithen, it has been his third quarter for the Coyotes. He's keeping them in it. A barrage of threes and strong post moves by McKeithen has cut the Petersburg lead from 22 down to 7. But Petersburg has maintained the lead. Let's not lose sight of that. Out of the timeout, it's Bunn. Day is out on the court. Evans for 3. Yes! And the lead is 4. Kyle Dixon came up to me at halftime as well and said, we were on the bus. They had a 22-point lead and let the Coyotes back in it. They went to sleep towards the end of that first half, and now they're trying to hang on. Foul on the floor, I believe, here. Sean Dabbs on the YouTube chat saying that's a pure shooter, man. I'm assuming he's talking about McKeithen. Pinkston, a good pure shooter as well. He's got the basketball here. Extra pass to Jones. Couple of fakes rejected by McKeithen. Staying with it. Holloman turnaround shot. Rebound by Bunn. And here come the Coyotes. Playing for the first time here at the house John Wall built. Strong move. The reverse no good that time by Evans. And here comes Hines. Hines turns on the Jets. Too strong. Put back by Holloman, no good. Hines stays with it. Then Jones lost it. Hines in the corner for 3, no. And it's going out of bounds. Last touch by John Holloman. Whew. Catch my breath. We're going to get a sub here for the Cavs. It's going to be Tommy Starks. So Starks will come into the ball game. They're going to give Pinkston a much-deserved rest. Robert Pinkston struggled in the first half, but has come alive here in this third quarter. Bunn. Big man out to Bunn. Triggers the triple off the back of the rim. Jones skying for the rebound. Petersburg is doing a relatively good job. Desmore Strong to the bucket for 2, and the lead back to 6 in rebounding in this game. It'll be interesting to see what the box score looks like. McKeithen over 2 defenders draws the foul. But for the most part, it's been one and dones. There's been a few sequences where the Coyotes have been able to get extra chance opportunities. We saw about 4 extra chance opportunities in one possession for the Coyotes on the other end of the court in the second quarter. But for the most part, team rebounding, you got to give credit to the Cavaliers. They're undersized going up against the McKeithens and the Shodis. And I don't want to make it look like they don't have any size. Reggie Cherry's 6'7". That's the same size as McKeithen. Darnell Jenkins also 6'7". So they've got some size. But they're just a little bit smaller than they're accustomed to playing together last year. That was almost poked away, staying with it, Hines. And that was just a little too much from Bunn. A little over-aggressive there. And it looks like the Coyotes might be over the limit here, so that's going to send Rashid Hines to the free throw stripe. Hines came in early season numbers, just 1 out of 4 from the charity stripe. Petersburg trying to make it back-to-back victories. They took down Hampton Roads by 3, 95-92 last Saturday. There's a reason why the primetime players have won both championships relatively easy here in the ECBL, and why they've won 5 straight in semi-pro basketball. At this level, that shouldn't be a putback. That should be a lane violation. And that's what they're going to call. That's good officiating. As Corey Evans literally fell forward into the lane. Just lost his tippy toes a little bit there. So it will be another free throw. And to finish that thought, the reason why teams like the primetime players win, sometimes at this level, there's a lack of cohesiveness. There's a lack of team. It's all about, I'm trying to get a contract, and it's all about me, myself, and I, De La Soul in semi-pro basketball. Teams that share the basketball, teams that play like a team, have a chance to knock off the primetime players. They are not invincible. The reason why they win is they average 26 assists a game every single year. Well, the reason why I bring that up is both of these teams are averaging over 20 assists this season so far. It's early, but you see it here tonight. Both of these teams are moving the basketball very well. They're unselfish. It's all about the team. McKeithen tried to force that. I think he was trying to draw the foul. He's got to be careful. He's picked up 1 tee already. He doesn't want to be shown the door here. The Coyotes need him. Oh, great defense by Evans there, and Evans is grabbed. So these two teams, one of the reasons why I think they're going to be in that conversation, the Cavaliers, almost 21 assists per ball game. The problem with the Cavaliers, though, is they average just as many turnovers as they do assists, and that's not going to get it done. Moving the basketball is fine. Turning the basketball over, not fine. 32 assists. Again, we only have 1 game of stats for the Coyotes, so those numbers a little more inflated than you would normally see, but still a 32 assist game is a good example of sharing the basketball. And both of these teams are in their second year, even though they have different names and some newcomers, some changes. There are a lot of familiar faces on both of these teams, and that's what it takes. The primetime players have been playing together for years. Strip and foul as Cherry was going up, and Evans picked up the foul. So the game's starting to get a little more physical again. While I talk about the primetime players, as Cherry's free throw bounces out and then comes back in, we'll be at the primetime players gym next week. Florence, another expansion team, one of several that have come into the league this year, will be giving a very early test in their organization, going up against Chris Thomas's team. Bunn gets it back. Eladio Espinoza has come on. I mentioned Trey Day is also out there. Evans. That pass deflected, almost taken away. Evans has to hoist. It's an air ball, and the Cavs come up with it. 2-on-1. Tip pass to Hines, no. Follow up by Holloman, no. Out to Cherry. Cherry from right of the lane, no. Follows his shot. Extra opportunities for the Cavaliers, and Cherry makes the Coyotes pay. The lead is 7, inside 2 minutes to play in quarter number 3. Trey Day from San Antonio. Shot blocked by Holloman, but they call a foul. So that brings Corey Evans to the line. 8 out of 10 so far on the season for Evans. Last year he only played in 3 games for the then Raptors. Averaged just under 19 points per ball game. Good shooter at 49%, connecting on the first free throw. Robert Espinoza coming in. Trey Day will come out. Second free throw good. The lead is 5, 74-69. Boy, if you told me we'd be approaching 100 points in this ball game in this second half after that first quarter, I'd have said you're nuts, but both these teams appear to be on their way. Starks is blocked but fouled, so he will go to the line. Tommy Starks from the Bronx, New York. A great place to learn basketball. I started talking about this in the opening quarter. It's New York and it's Chicago. When you're talking about the street ball, but down here in North Carolina, I'll tell you what, folks, I've lived down here going on 5 years now in the Carolinas. North Carolina high school basketball is legit. Mentioned just here alone all the D1 players that have come from this gym, including John Wall. Bunn skies it. Evans is grabbed by Starks. Both teams have been over the limit, so 2 shots. 1:20 left to play in quarter number 3. Chris Sheeman, glad to be with you here on this Sunday night. Again, I know March Madness has kind of basketballed us out a little bit. I watched most of the first 2 rounds. Kind of gave myself a little bit of a break yesterday and today. I was going to listen to it on the radio driving up, and I was like, no, I'm gonna listen to some music. I got enough basketball coming up tonight. So I know we got basketball coming out the ears right now, but thanks for joining us for our first of 11 broadcasts. 10 regular season plus the 2017 championship to be played June 24th. You can see the schedule on our YouTube page as Starks misses the 3. Here come the Coyotes. Coyotes with a chance here. They're down just 4. Bunn skies it, and Espinoza, the rebound, puts it up and in. It's a 2-point game. This is as close as the Coyotes have been since the opening minutes. Coyotes did lead briefly in this ball game, 4-2. Hines, yes. Big bucket for Petersburg, trying to maintain the lead. Here's Bunn into the forecourt. Bunn tosses it to Downey. Downey, whoa, that's got to be offensive. Yeah, that's got to be. Downey doesn't think so, but look at it on the replay, Montez. So Petersburg can hold now for the final shot of the quarter. Eric Clemens said his piece to the official. Oh, look out, look out. Holloman. Well, that was doomed from the start, and now it's a foul as Evans threw it up. Are they going to count that? Nope, they're going to call it on the floor. No continuation there. The Coyotes making their best sell at it, but it's not going to happen. Nevertheless, back at the line is Corey Evans, who has shot the ball well from the charity stripe here tonight. I didn't know this. I've only known Word of God Academy as a basketball school. They've got good soccer, volleyball, and football programs here as well up in Raleigh. They got into some trouble. This has not been a school without controversy. High school basketball nowadays is almost like college in terms of recruiting. Beating the buzzer, Starks rejected. The big man Downey sending it home as quarter number 3 comes to a close. Well, that was the best quarter by far, and that should tell you something, folks. We are in for something special in the fourth quarter. Don't touch that dial, that mouse pad, that tablet. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back. Well, you see where we're going next week. Primetime Players hosting Florence Saturday at 5 p.m., but 12 more minutes of action here in Raleigh. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you. 77-75, Petersburg over the Coyotes. But Petersburg's lead has been as much as 22 in this ball game. The Coyotes have slowly chipped away. This should be an interesting quarter, folks. Settle in. Glad to be with you. Jasper Holloman, also Pinkston out on the court with Cherry, Starks, and Jones, as Jones misses that shot in the lane. Griffin back out there for the Coyotes with Downey, who has played good defense, Eladio Espinoza, Robert Espinoza, and Marshall, who could not get that turnaround shot to go. Look at the little guy again, another offensive rebound. Turnaround 3 ball is no good, though, as Pinkston collects. Into the forecourt, Holloman. Underneath Cherry. Here's Starks. Starks rejected. That size from the Coyotes. I mean, that front line, you've got Ashodi and McKeithen, 6'10", 6'7", respectively. Downey's 6'5", Eladio's 6'8", Roberts 6'7". This is a big team. Nobody back on defense. Throw it down, big man. Downey with the right hand. We are even for the first time since the opening quarter. 77 all. 1 minute and change here in this fourth quarter. That's for Holloman, Pinkston, Cherry in the corner. Cherry almost had it poked away. Downey applying the pressure, but Cherry scores anyway. That was a nice move by Reggie Cherry. Griffin. Robert Espinoza can't get it to go. Eladio the rebound, and he is fouled. Eladio Espinoza. Eleven of their 12 active players are returners from last year. Espinoza's one of them, both Espinoza brothers. McKeithen, the only newcomer. I don't know if he's out there, but I do miss my brother from another mother, Chris Leitner. Came up to me every game, every time I saw him. I think he's playing in another league this year. It's too bad we won't get to see him, as Espinoza was falling down asking for time, but they called travel first. Now, that's the right call, folks, but they didn't call it that way in the first half, so that's why Espinoza's upset. You've got to pick up a dribble or do something. You can't just fall to the floor. But they missed it in the first half. Starks to Holloman. Can't get it to go. Griffin facing some pressure from Starks, able to get it into the forecourt, looking for a screen from Downey. Gets it over to Marshall for three. Short on it. Offensive rebound. Eladio had it stripped. Getting back is Pinkston, laying it up and in. And Petersburg, after the Coyotes tie it, get back-to-back buckets, they lead again by 4. Petersburg trying to avoid going 1-2 on the season, as Robert Espinoza, looking for a foul called there. Good defense by Jones. Coyotes looking to go to 3-0 on the year. That would be a big step forward for them. Floating it up from the baseline, Griffin, no good. And it looks like a timeout's going to be called as Jones was trapped. Timeout, 9:28 left to go in the ball game. We're coming right back. Eight to 177, Petersburg with the lead and the basketball. Chris Sheeman back with you here out of the timeout. 9:22 remaining in the ball game. Entry pass intended for Jones, deflected out by Downey. Montez Downey played in 6 games last year for the Coyotes. His first appearance this season. Jasper Holloman driving to the bucket, floats it up, puts it in. 6-0 run now for the Cavaliers as the lead is 6 again. Inside 9 the play. Marshall. Robert Espinoza steps back. Driving in, puts it up, and a blocking foul's called. Holloman can't believe it. But Robert Espinoza will go to the line and shoot 2 free throws. Did they call a T? They did. They called a technical foul on Jasper Holloman on top of it. So that means Will Griffin will shoot a technical free throw. And this is an opportunity now for 3 points. Griffin gets the technical free throw to go. That ends a 6-0 run by the Cavaliers. So now Espinoza will go to the line. Last year, Robert, just under 15 points per all game. He shot 52% from the field, 50% from three-point range. A double-double threat and 9.6 rebounds, also a couple of blocks. The product of Shaw University, a CIAA school. Espinoza good on the first free throw. Espinoza. Corey Evans comes back into the game between those free throws, but 3 free throws for the Coyotes makes it a 3-point lead again for the Cavs. Pinkston. Underneath, shot rejected. Holloman thought he had an easy one. Raymond McKeithen, the big guy back out there, says, Driving in is Evans, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line. That's going to be 3 already on the Cavs here in this fourth quarter. So 3 team fouls for Petersburg. They're going to have to be careful. And it looks like Petersburg is going to call timeout. We're going to keep it here while Petersburg has the timeout. I wanted to give a shout out on behalf of the ECBL. The Petersburg, I believe it's the Progress Index, the newspaper up there, has done such a great job covering the Cavaliers so far this season. I didn't even need to talk to Kyle Dixon on the phone like I usually try to do with some of the teams to get a sense for how their season's going. All I had to do was go on the newspaper's website, and I got the season preview. I got recaps of both of the games. So shout out if those folks might be watching and writing up a story on this one. Great coverage up there in Petersburg. Petersburg's a good market for semi-pro basketball. It's a good-sized city, but it's not so big where the newspaper will ignore you. Florence team also getting some good newspaper coverage, and love to see that here in Raleigh too. Love to see it in Hampton Roads. Love to see it in Charlotte and Fort Mill. I know the primetime players get on the news quite a bit over there. And Greenville and Spartanburg. How about Augusta? How about Savannah? All of these cities. We'd love to have that kind of coverage everywhere. It's been a free throw shooting contest here that has helped the Coyotes get themselves back in it as they cut it to 1. Remember, they have not led since the early stages of this ball game. Pinkston, top of the key. Don Holloman driving in, off the glass and scores, Every time the Coyotes have evened it or gotten close to one, the Cavaliers have been able to push it back out a little bit. 8 minutes left to go. Evans rises for three, and that's not great offense. It was one guy dribbling and popping a contested shot. Holloman to the bucket. No, tip for the rebound. John Holloman, it's off of him, out of bounds. Tyree Desmore coming back into the game, the product of Winston-Salem State, another CIAA school. He played all 4 years there, 78 games, 4.7 points, 5.5 as a senior. Graduated in 2014. Here's Griffin floating it up, floating it in, and the lead is one again. Can the Coyotes get over the hump? They've tied it. It was tied at 77, but as I mentioned, they haven't led since the early stages. Desmore. Oh, nice extra pass, and Jones draws the foul. Mike Jones, and we haven't seen him yet this year for the Cavaliers, connecting on the first one. It's a 2-point ball game. That was the first team foul, by the way, on the Coyotes. The Cavaliers already with 3 with 7:14 left to go in the quarter. 1 out of 2 at the free throw stripe. The lead is 2. Here's Evans bringing it quickly into the forecourt. Griffin out near midcourt. Griffin has Starks on him on a switch. Oh, the back door is open. Throw it down, big man. Downey tying it up at 86. And the rim, the backboard, is still shaking. Oh, my goodness. That ball, that net is moving. You can see it vibrating off that dunk. That might have hurt his hand. Those are some rough old rims. Desmore driving on the baseline. The reverse too strong. That pass deflected. 2-on-2. Here's Evans drawing the foul. A chance now for the Coyotes. Corey Evans looking to get the first lead. Well, not free throws yet. That's, I believe, was a foul called on the Cavaliers. Alley-oop, throw it down. Downey. Wow. Montez Downey, the high flyer from UNC Wilmington, electrifying this crowd. And McKeithen says, get it out of here. Well, if Petersburg doesn't get a bucket here, and the Coyotes score again, there's going to be a foul over the back there on Downey. Downey's fired up. He doesn't care. The rim is still shaking over there, by the way. I can see the net still moving. That was the second team foul on the Coyotes. Well, Pinkston's back out there. He's got to get it going. Griffin knows that, so he's draped all over him. Moving the ball to Holloman for 3. That can't get it to go. Griffin looking to push. Good job by the Cavaliers getting back on defense, so Griffin had to wait for his teammates. Big man McKeithen, turnaround shot. Short, tipped up, no. And Espinoza tried to get it to go, but couldn't. Last touch by the Cavaliers, and we have a timeout. 88-86 Coyotes. jamming their way to the lead. We'll be right back. Hey, I got to give a shout out. Derek Johnson is the man who's bringing you the pictures that you see. Derek, before they inbound, just wave your hand in front of the camera. Say, there's Derek. There he is. Again, big shout out Robert Espinoza taking care of me here this week. It, like I said in the first half, takes a village to get these broadcasts to work right. Robert was that village. Raymond McKeithen. Turnaround shot from the baseline. He is so good. I mean, that's just as simple as that, folks. I don't have any other insight into it. That is just good. Holloman. Here's Pinkston. Pinkston steps into a three. Can't get it to go. Petersburg's gone cold. Now it's Griffin. Griffin on the baseline. Ooh, he was pushed out of bounds, they say. And that's going to be the 5th team foul on the Cavaliers now. Will Griffin. Trying to make it a 5-point game. The Coyotes, I believe, led early on 4-0. Don't quote me on that, but either way, this matches their biggest lead, and Griffin upset with himself as he jogs back down the court after missing 2 free throws. What can the Cavaliers do here now? John Holloman driving in, had it poked away, McKeithen. And then Downey throws full court to Griffin. His shot blocked. Did they say it went off of Griffin too? How about that defensive play by Desmore? Tyree Desmore not only blocked the shot, but was able to get it off of Griffin out of bounds. Ooh, quick shot by Holloman, no good there. Petersburg stagnant on offense. The Coyotes with the lead. Past 4.5 to go in the ball game. Espinoza's pass deflected by Pinkston. Uh-oh, Espinoza looking for McKeithen. It took a minute to get there. And now a foul as Jones came up with the steal. The official is in danger. Oh, yep, he teed him up. Eric Clemens has been screaming at the official. The official said, I want it to stop now. Clemens came further out onto the court, and he got teed up. And that's not what you need right now. You got a 4-point lead. Things are going your way. And now Pinkston's got a free throw here. Clemens. Well, Pinkston can't get the free throw to go. Raymond McKeithen. You see him, he's giving a pep talk to the coach, trying to calm him down. So the big man who got teed up earlier has all of a sudden become the Zen master of the Coyotes. So it still remains a 4-point game. No harm done on the tee. It is Cavaliers basketball, though. Desmore, too strong. McKeithen, the rebound. And here come the Coyotes. Griffin on the wing. Evans out near midcourt. Evans, and that's through the hands of Downey. Turnover gives the ball back to the Cavaliers. Pinkston with the basketball. He heated up in the third quarter, but a quiet day overall for Pinkston. Here's a three. Holloman can't get it to go. Correction, that was Jones for three. Holloman tried for the rebound. And they're going to get, I believe, McKeithen on the foul. Montez Downey will come out. Good minutes for Downey. He really electrified this crowd and the Coyotes with two monster dunks to help them get a lead. He goes out. Marquise Bunn back in. Petersburg with the basketball. Desmore can't get it to go, but he's fouled and will go to the line. That, I believe, is going to be 4 now on North Carolina. So both teams will be in the bonus going forward. This game is going on 2.5 hours long. It's been a long game. First free throw is good for Petersburg there. Desmore got them both. Now it's a 2-point game. Bunn into the forecourt. Inside 3 to go. And the shot clock did not start. So it'll be Evans to inbound. Again, the Coyotes, this is the start of 3 straight at home. They host the Carolina Thunder Saturday, Winston-Salem on the 8th of April, both at 7 p.m. Cavaliers going home after this one against the Carolina Kings on Saturday at 5. How about that shot from Griffin? It's a 3, and the Coyotes have their biggest lead of the night at 5. (93-88). 2:39 left to go. Desmore into the forecourt. Floats it up in the lane, no good. Tip for the rebound. Griffin is there again. I love this little guy, watching him play. Somebody lost his shoe out there. So right now, G's got only one shoe. He's got one shoe in his hand. Bunn driving on him and then threw it away. So the ball goes back to the Cavaliers. G, defender fell down, and he got fouled by Evans. Conversation, but it looks like Earl G is going to shoot 2 free throws. So both teams, as I mentioned, are in the bonus. Opportunity for Petersburg. They're just not hitting their free throws right now. Missed them both. Holloman, the putback, no. And the rebound controlled by Bunn. Bunn had it poked away. Bunn's got to save it. Not quitting on it is G. And that's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by Bunn. Good defense there by G. And he earns an extra possession for his team. Looks like we might have a timeout where we're going to have a sub. Rashid Hines is going to come in. So Hines is in for Desmore. 1:46 left to go. Both teams are over the limit. And that's going to be poked away. It's a steal. Evans to the bucket. Yes! The Coyotes have come from 22 back, and they might take this one. That was poked away, and they say it's off of G. He can't believe it. Timeout, Cavaliers. We will step aside. 90 seconds left to go in this ball game. We're coming right back. Welcome back, everybody. We've got 90 seconds left to go. Coyotes in control, 95-88. Petersburg has struggled offensively here in this fourth quarter, and the Coyotes have come storming back from 22 down. See this a lot in basketball now. Used to be big news when a team would come back from this kind of a deficit. I've done 2 or 3 of games now like this. Espinoza had it poked away. Good defense by Holloman, but he threw it right to Griffin. Griffin to Bunn, the reverse. Here comes Petersburg now. Jones into the forecourt. Pinkston for 3. Oh boy, they're not dead yet, folks. Not as long as they got Pinkston out on the court. And a quick foul by Pinkston. That's going to send Griffin to the line. So, Will Griffin, one of the better free throw shooters on the team, who missed a couple earlier in the quarter and was very upset with himself about it, has a chance for redemption here with 52 seconds left to go. Remember, in pro basketball, teams can advance the ball to midcourt off of a timeout in the last minute. So if Petersburg wants to call timeout here and get it to half court, they can do that. Depends on how many they have. They might want to save some. 97-91. Going quickly is G. Jones gets it out. Open look for Pinkston. Boy, that's the look you want if you're the Cavs. Pinkston, it just doesn't go down for him. Look out, that's coming. That's coming right at us. It's a turnover off of the Coyotes. So the Cavs will inbound it. It came right at that little girl who was more shaken up than anything, thank God, on the play there. So it will be Cavaliers basketball. Off of the turnover, 33 seconds. It's still two-possession game, folks. Cavaliers, should they elect to go for three, have an opportunity to cut the lead in half. So it's still very much undecided right now. Hines will inbound it, correct. Goes into the backcourt. Coyotes are fine with that. That runs a few extra seconds. Here's G to the bucket. No, but it's tipped back up and in by Hines. So quick bucket by Petersburg. And 26.9 left. The officials stop the clock. And I believe we have a timeout. I'm not quite sure why they stopped the game there. There was no timeout called, evidently. I couldn't tell you, folks. Some of the things that have happened tonight are beyond my expertise. But either way, Coyotes got to inbound it. So the ball deflected by the Cavaliers. 26.9 now on the clock. Petersburg's got some time here if they want to try for a steal, try to force another bad pass. And they're going to get a foul called here. That's best case scenario. I think the official did them a little bit of a favor there. Not necessarily because they fouled McKeithen. McKeithen's a good free throw shooter. But McKeithen was going to get that pass away, and that was going to force the Cavaliers to have to run more clock and foul. So they had to readjust the clock. So we are at 23.8 right now. That's why we had that stoppage moments ago. McKeithen can't get the first one to go. The window is still open for the Cavaliers here. It's been a long night here in Raleigh. The Coyotes would like to close the door. 1 out of 2, still two-possession game. Hines rises, wild shot, and now the Coyotes can taste it. Trying to play keep away. Look at Griffin go. He turns it over though. Hines to the bucket, and he's fouled by McKeithen with 4 seconds left. So probably better off just letting him score, although either way, Hines with a chance for points here. Again, you can advance the ball to half court off of a timeout. I assume the Cavaliers have some timeouts left in their pocket. So they need both free throws first. Well, they didn't get it. So that likely closes the door on today's game. We will see. Both free throws are missed. Coming up with it is Bunn. He's fouled with 1.5, and he'll put some extra frosting on the cake in what will be another Coyotes win. North Carolina is going to go to 3-0 on the season. Petersburg is going to fall to 1-2. Well, still a long way to go, obviously. Winston-Salem's going to have a lot to say. Hampton Roads is going to have a lot to say, but this North appears to be wide open. But the Coyotes are going to have the first crack at saying who's number one. They will go to 3-0. I'll tell you what, their game on the 8th against Winston-Salem right back here in Raleigh, I might have to talk to the league. I might want to come back for that one. That'll do it. 98-93 is your final. The Coyotes 3-0, Cavaliers 1-2. Again, North Carolina takes on the Thunder Saturday at 7. So they were off for another week. The Cavaliers return to action on Saturday. They'll be back at home. All you Petersburg fans, go check them out against the Carolina Kings Saturday at 5 p.m. Our next game of the week is going to be in Fort Mill, South Carolina. The Primetime Players hosting Florence. That's coming up Saturday at 5 p.m. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this one. Once again, your final score, the Coyotes 98, the Cavaliers 93. Thanks for watching, everybody, and enjoy your week.